Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are going to cover Winter of Woe Gauntlet today, and we will be dissecting the right side path. Now the right path is harder with Absorbing Man, Nebula, Hulkling and Spiderham as defenders. I'm going to use the champions that I believe are the easiest options for each fight and elaborate along the way. Please note that you will need at least one 7-star in your team to open the gate. As for the objectives, if you are Valiant, you get 5 points for objectives, 1 point for completion and 1 for exploration, so a total of 7. If you are Paragon, you get 4 points for objectives and a point for each exploration and completion, that is a total of 6. Now before we jump into this path, I would say that if you're going for the objectives, go for the left hand side path. That is much easier. It has a Ronin cheese as well. 3 of those fights you can easily cheese. The only difficult fight there is going to be Hulkling. That also you can play around and you can get a better champion. So you can just bring a cosmic team and you can run through the left path. Hercules does all the fights also, so a Ronin, a Hercules and a Venom would be a great one for the left part. And you have to check out the video, check it on my channel, I just put it out yesterday. But for the right path you will need some specific counters. So the first fight on the path is going to be the hardest one with Absorbing Man with damage over time immunity, enhanced parry giving armor break, aggression precision, no hit mercy, fight or flight, adapted override and brute force. The whole fight revolves around managing Absman's health, regen and unstoppable and his both forms. The fight will take a bit of time and getting used to, but the other upcoming fights are easier. Now there is so much to look after. I find the best champions that I find work really well for this fight are going to be the Void, She-Hulk and Titania. Now Void is super easy in this fight. All you need to do is to keep throwing your SP1. You will keep him heal blocked, and always have an SP1 ready when he's about to get unstoppable. You can trigger your SP1 and that creates enough distance for Absorbing Man not to get any unstoppable on him. And as for the forms, always either keep him without any form by a heavy attack or let him be in his SP2 form, because you are Incinerate immune as Void, so Void works really well. He does take a little bit of time to bring him down, but this I find is the safest option. Now next one is going to be a She-Hulk. She-Hulk can also be used, but you will need to understand how to do the spacing for the SP1 so you can keep Absman cornered and then you can take him out. There is a full video on my channel if you want to check it out, so that might help. And then there's Titania. She is just an amazing tank to take out Absorbing Man. So there are plenty of different options. I've mentioned some more on here on the right, so let me know in the comment section how difficulty was. They did nerf him a little bit. Now if you die once, the next time you go in and fight with him, the regen does not go past that point, so that is going to help. Another thing is going to be adaptive override. Make sure that you always keep him to he has physical or energy resistance depending on if you knock him down with the heavy. So depending on what champion you're going to use, make sure that you change it as well, because that makes a massive difference in the fight and the damage you do to Absorbing Man. Fight number 2 is going to be a Nebula with the nodes Galvanize, Force of Will, Cold Turkey, and Even Punishment. This fight revolves around managing the galvanized shock and unblockable phases, and the complexity of auto block depending on how many buffs are active on the attacker. This makes it for an interesting fight. I'm using Magneto here, but the options that work really well here are Hulkling, Odin, Angela, Hercules. All of these champions work really well. You can also use Massacre, you can also use Valkyrie, but you will have to play around the shock or the unblockable phase. Now I'm using a Magneto here. Remember that there is a node here when you parry. There is one node that is there is one buff that is purified from you and from Nebula, and you take damage because of Cold Turkey. So you have to play no parry style. So when it's the shock phase, you just block and let her throw a heavy and you retaliate. When is the unblockable phase, you just keep on hitting her in the block to create space. Now right here is in the shock phase. I'm going to wait for her to throw a heavy, 2 dash back, and then heavy. Again, heavy attack. So now I have enough of those prowesses. And now I'm going to try to get throw an SP3, and I'm pressing SP3 here, but the inputs are not registering. Again, I try again, still not registering. So I know what was wrong here. I took a lot of damage here, but that's okay. I will throw my SP3 and she will take a lot of damage with armor break because she's robot, but notice that she will lose a lot of health very quickly. Now you're wondering why is that happened. That is because of the regen reverse with the armor break together. Because whenever Nebula will take damage more than a threshold, she activates her regen, but that regen is reversed. I also run 3x3 despair, so that's why she takes all of that damage and she's down to 3%. The key here, you need to learn what is the spacing for her SP1 and her heavy attacks, so you don't have to parry and you just use heavy attacks to build your prowess. Fight number 3, we are back to Hulkling. That is going to be a common fight with Make a Stand Protection and Invade nodes, along with Inflated Ego. Now hero champions gain superiority and stun Hulkling at the end of their special attack animation. This fight is all about hitting Hulkling in the block. As with Invade nodes, you will do extra damage and direct damage percentage is reduced to 10% only. So you have to hit him in the block. The best champions that work here are the ones that have a knockdown in their basic attack combos, like America Chavez. You can chain a heavy at the end of it. Silk, the same way. Wasp, Silver Surfer, all of these champions you can chain a heavy, so you can easily remove the protection, and that is the biggest deal here. Because Hulkling does not give you many opportunities to remove his protection to knock him down, so the best way, if you don't have a champion that has a chained heavy, you wait for him to throw an SP2 and then you go in and knock him down. But with champions like Silk or champions like Chavez, you don't have to worry about that because you have a built-in knockdown and that takes care of the protection. Now other options also work like Massacre and Valkyrie if you can time the knockdown to remove the protection, but my personal favorite champs to take out for this fight is going to be Silk and America Chavez. As you notice right now in the fight, I just knocked down. Now I'm going to throw my SP2 right there and look at that beautiful damage. 10,000, 10,000, 32,000, and again at 32,000 he's down to 75%. So I don't need to even worry about dexing any of the specials. Made a mistake there, got hit. Now he's going to throw an SP2. I don't need to heavy counter. I will just do like a small combo and then throw my heavy attack chained up, and that will remove the protection. Just here, the heavy attack. Now I'm going to wait for him to block and I'm going to throw my SP2 and that should do enough damage to him. I do make quite a bit of mistakes here and I get hit in the in my block. I take some damage. That should not happen. Those are uncharacteristic mistakes, but you get the gist. Bring in champions that have knockdown built in their basic attack combo, and this fight is such a breeze. It's not difficult at all. You can also use champions that have assisted intercepts. So for example, Elsa Bloodstone is one of those examples, Professor X, to get safe openings so you don't have to worry about getting hit in the block and taking that much damage with Invade against Hulkling. Finals fight is going to be Spiderham with heal block, not afraid of stings, turn the tide, embrace your fate and cleaning contract. So right off the bat, if you hit him in his block, you are going to take damage. So let's make sure that we do not hit him in the block and keep away from it, because when you hit him in the block, you will purify the debuffs on you, which are a lot. There's going to be power stings, they're going to be debilitate. All of these will be applied by Spiderham, and if you hit him in the block, those are going to be purified and you're going to take damage. Now you have to bring in champions that have anti-evade mechanism but without purify or cleanse. So for example, champions like Venom and Venompool, they are good against spider champs, but they do not have any kind of cleanse on them, so they work really well. She-Hulk and Silk are also one of them because they have slow. Slow will prevent the evade, but you will not purify any kind of stings. Same goes with Falcon and Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi, do not run the Purify medium light medium combo and you should be good. The whole concept here is to build up to an SP3 and hit Spiderham until you have 3 or more power stings on yourself. Once you have 3 or more power stings on yourself, you wait for the special 3 indicator on the special counter and let it lerp. This is an easy fight. You just need to align the SP3 with at least 3 stings and turn the tide timer to SP3 and 2 special attacks. Kill this Spiderham. Now, you will notice that I used an SP3 when the counter did not say 3, but still a Spiderham took damage. So the explanation for that is it might be bugged, but if I look at the nodes, it's a different node that is turned the tide and it's a different node that requires you to have 3 stings. So Spiderham does not take the special 3 damage from you, but he does take the power sting return damage on him. So as long as you have 3 stings on you, you should be fine, and those stings should return to as damage to Spiderham and you should be able to take him down. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a little more detailed than the right side path. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, like and subscribe to the channel and share it with your alliance, share it with your friends. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.